Hi, and welcome back to the 40-day challenge and embracing the race. And look who's outside. Hopefully I won't be fighting the wind on this video or the wind chimes that you will hear. But you get some great natural sounds and birds, so hopefully it'll be pleasing to the ear. Today is day 15, I think. But I thought that the devotion for today was especially appropriate after my run yesterday, which it was a great run with a friend, but there were a few hills, not big ones, but a few hills, and I bet all of us just love hills. So today is called Trudging Up the Steep Hills, and none of them were steep yesterday, but any little hill it seems hard to me. I need to probably do them more. But anyway, the verse that she starts off with is actually a verse that I referenced. I don't think it was yesterday, but it was definitely in the last few days. And I couldn't remember the reference, but the reference for it is Psalm 121, verse 1. I lift up my eyes to the hills. Where does my help come from? My help comes from the Lord, the maker of heaven and earth. So we're talking about hills. And she starts off with a quote from Hal Higdon, which probably a lot of us know his name. He's a running writer and coach, and I believe that from what I've heard, he has some pretty good training plans that can be used for things like Disney. But his quote is, "Hills, we love them, we hate them, they make us strong, they make us weak. Today I choose to embrace hills." And that word choose will be important later, but choose to embrace them. She talks about how when she's running, she finds something invigorating about reaching the top. When you're in the midst of running up a hill, it's kind of awful. But when you get to the top, you feel like you have definitely accomplished something. And depending on where you are, it can give you some excellent views and scenery. And that's what she talks about, is that feeling of accomplishment. And she loves, her favorite is the view from the top of a hill in the winter when you get the snow-covered trees glistening and the sparkling light of the sun. And it's something you can't see from below. She has another quote in here from, I think his first name is Iman, and I'm not even going to try to pronounce the last name, but he's a 3-time Irish Olympian. He says, "Running hills breaks up your rhythm and forces your muscles to adapt to different stresses. The result, you become a stronger runner." And that's definitely true. I remember the first time I trained for one of our local races where the first half mile is all up. There's no break. All up for half a mile. It's in one of the national forests around here. Man, I got hair. I am so sorry. I trained that first year. I ran up and down my driveway, did a lot of hills. And that first part, it was hard, but I got through it. The second year, I did not train like I should have and could tell a big difference trying to run that first half mile. So, there's no doubt about it. Hills make you a stronger runner. So applying that to life, and you may know where this is going, it's relating those hills to trials and things that happen in life. She says, when it comes to making it through some sort of tough time or trial, she says, "Did I really just come all this way? I stood in awe of the beauty, not the physical surroundings, but the beauty of what God has done in me. The beauty of the strength he equipped me with, the beauty of his promise to never leave me or forsake me. My faith was strengthened, my hope was renewed, my love for him was magnified, and this view was something I wouldn't trade for anything. A view that couldn't be experienced without trudging up the steep hill." And I'm very sorry if those wind chimes are very loud. The notes that I wrote off to the side for this, because I believe that in any hard time, any trial, any stressful situation, or however you want to say it, that you can learn something. But I really believe that it's a choice. You can let that situation consume you, or you can fight your way through it and gain something from it. And I thought of the song It's a song by Third Day called Mountain of God. And I'll share the lyrics real quick before we go to the questions. Oh, I've got my computer here. Alright, so I'll share some choice lyrics from Third Day, Mountain of God. I thought that I was all alone and broken and afraid, but you were there with me. Well, and I didn't even know that I had lost my way, but you were there with me. Until you opened my eyes, I never knew that I couldn't ever make it without you. Even though the journey's long and I know the road is hard, the one who's gone before me, you will help me carry on. And after all that I've been through, now I realize the truth, that I must go through the valley to stand upon the mountain of God. And as I travel on the road that you have led me down, you are here with me. And I have need for nothing more, now that I have found that you are here with me. I confess from time to time I lose my way, but you are always there to bring me back again. Sometimes I think of where it is I've come from and the things I've left behind, but of all I've had, what I possess, nothing can quite compare with what's in front of me. That view that we see from the top, you know. Even though the journey's long and I know the road is hard, the one who's gone before me, he will help me carry on. And after all that I've been through, now I realize the truth, that I must go through the valley to stand upon the mountain with God. That's, I remember we were on one of our road trips. I think it may have been the first one, or maybe the second one, but we hiked up to the top of, went up a trail to the top of a mountain, and the draw for this particular trail is that you have a 360 view. I mean, it is a perfect 360 view of the area around you. And when we got to the top, I mean, the view was amazing. And that was the song that, you know, my soul started singing. The journey can be long. And you hear it referred to often as a valley when you're going through a hard time. But if you choose to lean on God and let Him carry you through it, you will always gain something from it. I don't think there's ever a time where you won't. All right, questions. How does your physical body respond to hills? They hate them. They, as if it's more than one thing. My body hate hills. My road is pretty hilly. And I try to challenge myself and say, I'm not going to walk on this hill. I'm not going to walk on this hill. Most of the time I try to go as much as I can, but usually right in the last 10 feet of a hill, I got to walk. I did well yesterday. I just slowed to the slowest jog ever, but it's usually not even my legs, it's my breathing, which is probably something I need to work on. Are you trudging up a steep hill in your life right now? Does your heart ache and you just want to quit? I guess really the only thing, and I've mentioned this obviously in earlier days of this study, I think the only trial, if you want to call it that, is just what everybody else is dealing with the world being so different right now, with coronavirus and all the stuff going on in politics. Most of the time we'll try to watch the news in the evenings, and sometimes we'll only last maybe 30 minutes just because we're like, it's just the same thing. People just on each other. So a lot of times we just have to turn it off. We'll put on a movie or something a little more lighthearted. We'll get the headlines so we know what's going on, but this is me learning from this life that's happening right now. Is it's causing me to learn to be more confident in sharing my faith. And I've sat down and made a list. It's on my computer. I made a list of all the things that are happening in the world right now with racial things and political things, and even some stuff that maybe not be at the forefront right now, but sometimes is with pro-life, pro-choice, the immigration and people coming across the border, and yeah, any topic that has really ever been a thing for believers, or anything that's at the forefront right now. And my goal is to go through each one and, like I've said before, let God's word do my fighting for me, and really find what he has to say on all those different topics, because it's all in there. I know I heard, I was actually listening as I did a run, this was a month or two ago, I was listening to a sermon from, oh my gosh, what's the church? I can't remember the church's name now. It's a famous one. But anyway, at the very beginning of the sermon, he was trying to be funny, but he was referencing how political unrest is not really something new, and most people know that. But even in Jesus's time, that was a thing, you know, conflict between the church and the government and all of this. I mean, it's not like it's not in the Bible, it's in there. So, I mean, that's what I'm choosing to try to learn from what's happening right now, instead of just sinking into worry, which is what I used to be really, really bad at. Sinking into anxiety and worry is leaning on God and letting him do my fighting for me. So I encourage you to do the same, because really it's all in his word. You got to take the time to read it. And like I've mentioned, I'm not always perfect at that. I mean, I'm hardly ever perfect at most anything. But I know it's in there. I just got to find it. All right, so then she says, I encourage you to tightly grip the loving arms of Jesus. Take a moment and think about the view awaiting you. And she ends with the verse, Deuteronomy 31, chapter 6. Be strong and courageous. Do not fear, for it is the Lord your God who goes with you. He will not leave you or forsake you. Oh, I love that verse. It's such a good one. Be strong and courageous. And he's with us, you know. That's all he wants, is for us to lean on him. So, hopefully I wasn't squinting too much. We got some beautiful, I don't know if you really can't see too much of the sky, but there is not a cloud in the sky right now. And it's creeping up on 60 degrees. It was like 50 something when I came out here. So, oh my goodness, that sun feels so nice. So I'm looking forward to another wonderful outdoor run this afternoon. I think I'm probably going to go run at the track. But I hope everyone's doing well, and I cannot wait to see you tomorrow.